This podcast may contain adult language, adult situations, spoilers, and some brief nudity, so parental guidance is suggested.
We have such sights to show you.
After about 5 minutes of this movie, you're gonna wish you had 10 beers.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Welcome back to the Cinema Recall Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Recall Podcast. I am your host, Vern. Thank you for watching, for listening, subscribing, all that you are doing. We are continuing our look at the films of Sean Baker with this 2015 film, Tangerine. My special guest is the host of Pop Art Podcast. You can find links to that in the show notes, Mr. Howard Casner. Hello, Howard.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great to have you on, your first time on camera. You've been on Cinema Recall many times. I think the last time you were on with us is when we were discussing the killing of a sacred deer for our Yahoo for Yargo series going on there. Have you seen that new movie yet, Bugonia?
No, not yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I liked this last one. Not many other people did, but I loved this last one.
Oh, is that the Tides of Kindness?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Very much enjoyed that one too. So yeah, I'm hoping to get possibly a screener for that one. So cross my fingers. And I've got other A24 screeners, and I'm hoping to get that one soon. Pop Art Podcast has been a very fun show. I know that I was a guest on there a few times, and I can't quite remember off the top of my head what those were. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
And my memory isn't what it used to be.
Yeah, I will find them, and I'll post them in the show notes once I do find out where they are.
That'd be great.
Tell me, I mean, you just did an episode not too long ago with the post from Blueprint Review.
Yes, Andy Golding. We discussed two films about families, Parenthood and The Royal Tenenbaums. He chose Parenthood. I chose The Royal Tenenbaums to go with it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, if you don't know this, Pop Art Podcast is a show that takes both a movie that is well known in the public eye and a movie that's not well so known, like a movie that's well known with critics and a movie that's well known with the public, and you put them all together, and it's a sandwich. It's like a glorious, wonderful sandwich, like peanut butter and chocolate together.
Yeah, I say that we find the pop culture in art and the art in pop culture.
Yes, very well said. See, much better than much better when you say it than when I say it. So, very cool. So, like I said before, I'll post links in the show notes. Now, the movie that we're going to be talking about today is Tangerine. But before I do that, I want to ask you this, Howard. What is your familiarity with Sean Baker's other movies? I mean, what other movies of his have you seen? Was this the first one?
I've seen everything since Starlet.
Okay.
Tangerine, I believe, was the first one I saw. I missed Starlet. I wanted to see it, and it got out of the theaters before I could. Then I watched the Florida Project. I missed Red Rocket until it appeared on, I think, on Criterion, because they were doing a salute to Sean Baker because Honora got all these Oscar nominations. And then I was able to go back and see Starlet. And then there is, Honora. That's the most recent one. I tried to watch another one that came before Starlet, and it really wasn't working for me, so I didn't watch that. But I've seen all of them since Starlet.
Yeah, I think that was The Prince of Broadway that came up before Starlet. I know for me, I have heard of Tangerine because I remember the whole thing about how it was filmed, but I never got to see it until after I saw the Florida Project, because I saw the Florida Project on a flight home, and then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's the same guy who made the film Tangerine that I saw trailers for. So I saw Florida Project, then Tangerine, then Red Rocket, then Honora. Then I went back and saw Starlet, and Takeout was his first film. The Prince of Broadway, I have never seen. What I like best about Sean Baker's work before we get into Tangerine is that Sean Baker has this ability to focus on characters that at first you're not quite sure because how they are. Because I know that when I watched the Florida Project, I did not much like the mother in that movie, and I was but he has a way of like making you fall in love with these characters as the time goes on, you know. And I know we get more into this with Tangerine, but when I first see Tangerine and the character of Cindy being very angry, upset the whole time, I'm like, hold on, just chill a little bit, just relax, because all you do is just yelling, and it's making me feel very uncomfortable, all this yelling that you're doing here. But as the movie goes on, you end up falling in love with these characters very much and caring about them. And I don't know what your opinion about his work with characters and things like that, Howard.
Well, I think that is a strong point. He has an unusual way of looking at situations as well.
Mm-hmm.
These people are often not just marginal people, but they're marginal in the sex industry. And he doesn't condemn them. He doesn't really moralize that much, which sometimes may lend itself to a bit of romanticism. Most of his characters are redeemable in some way. Red Rocket is probably the main one where, no, he's a really awful person.
Yes.
And he's an awful person at the end. He never learns. But the others, you do get to know them. You do get to like them. You do come to understand them and be on their side.
Yeah, very much so. Well, let's do this because I need to play a quick ad spot from another great podcast show, and then we'll be back to talk more about Tangerine.
We got to take a short break, but Cinema Recall will be right back after these ad spots.
Hello again, me popsicles, and welcome to Season 2 of Science Fiction Remnant.
Go ahead and grab your multipass, a drink, and sit back with us and geek out about sci-fi.
Let's pick each other's brain. We want you to be part of our intimate conversation about science fiction topics.
And hang around to the end of the episodes for the real-world science that was inspired by your favorite science fiction.
Let's do this. Let's talk about science fiction topics in books, movies, TV shows, and games.
At Science Fiction Remnant, you are invited to listen in.
Listen now on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify, Anchor,
Audible, Goodpods,
or whatever you listen to podcasts.
You can catch the video pods on our YouTube a month later.
And don't forget your multipass, you me popsicles.
Science Fiction Remnant is brought to you by the hashtag This Is Sci-Fi. No cat planet cuties were harmed in the making of this commercial. Ba, 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 ba.
Wait, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. It's too much drama.
You guys just come out here and give me all this information and have me go handle it by myself? You're the one who told me anyways.
Okay. I will go with you under one condition. You must promise me that there's not going to be any drama. Because as soon as there's some drama, I'm out of there.
I promise.
Look at me in my eyes and promise.
I promise no drama, Alexandra. Come on. What the fuck you two looking at?
All right, so you just saw a quick clip from the movie Tangerine. Like I said before, this was written by Sean Baker and Chris Bogowick, which I'm not going to remember how to pronounce his name, so I apologize immensely about that. But it does star, and I'm looking right now at some of these names. I have to write them down here. Maya Taylor as Alexandra. Katana Titi Rodriguez as Cindy. Also feature in Karen Kuligalian as Resmick. He's a cab driver. Chris Barrick, the Raiders in this too. Mickey O'Hannigan as Dinah and a bunch of other people. Howard, what was your first impressions of Tangerine when you saw it?
Well, I was really impressed. One of the reasons why I wanted to see it, besides Starlet having gotten such good reviews, and I'm always looking for the new up and comers, is the way it was filmed. It was done on phones, and that was really wild.
Oh yeah.
And I go and see it, and I'm just so uh so impressed by it. I mean, they're doing things like going by on skateboards, and things of that nature in order to get a lot of those amazing shots. I don't think, though, that's the big thing. I think what I was really impressed with is the sound was amazing. I do not know
Oh,
how they got that sound.
yeah, because you think they would just be done with all ADR, but it's not. It was actually filmed right there. First time seeing it. I do agree. The sound quality is absolutely like really good because you think they would just do this stuff post, but they didn't. And I should explain to everyone too the basic story of Tangerine because it's a small story. After Sydney was in jail, she gets out and is told by her best friend Alexandra that her longtime boyfriend Chester has been cheating on her with a real girl. Because both Sydney and Alexandria, they're both transgender sex workers working in, I would say, in the border of like Hollywood, California, and that Hollywood, they're not in Hollywood, California, but like a block or two
No,
away
they're
from
in Hollywood.
Hollywood, California.
It's Hollywood.
It is Hollywood. Okay, it is okay.
Yeah, like I told
Okay, that's
you
fair.
earlier,
So the
I
whole movie.
lived only maybe 5 blocks from where they filmed this.
So did you notice the? That's. I do want to know more about the story. Did you notice anything at all of them shooting this
No,
movie there
it
while
was
you were?
long afterwards, but there are a lot of little fun details that might be able to add to it. And I did have one strange, different reaction to it that we can talk about later that most people wouldn't have unless they actually lived there. But Santa Monica, the street, is not very far from where I am. Now, the scene you showed, I think, is on the border of West Hollywood, and it depends on where they were on that block as to whether they're in West Hollywood or in Hollywood on Santa Monica. It's really strange because the border between the two is in the middle of a block. It's not a street.
Yeah, and I noticed with this movie, as well as the Florida Project, that the sets and the scenery adds a lot to the storyline of this movie too. Like the whole donut time, that is an iconic space there. Do you remember, was Donut Time
Well,
a
yeah,
real
but it's
shop
not a
over
donut.
there?
It's now a Danny Trejo donut shop. Danny Trejo bought it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, things like that. The one area where Alexandra sings at that bar.
That is West Hollywood.
Like
That's Hamburger
this
Mary's.
feels like
It's no longer there. It closed.
that's
But yeah, you take the Santa Monica bus and you go up to Hamburger Mary's in West Hollywood, which is Boys Town. It's where many gay people live.
sure, gotcha. And then is there like the I guess a good elements of like the trans community
No, in
over
that
there as well?
area,
And was
it's
that
mostly, well, I don't know what it is now because it's been so long and they were trying to clean it up.
okay?
But there is prostitution there from young people, teens, as well as the trans community. But I think by the time they actually filmed this, I think that had moved on to another location.
Okay. Well, and the one thing about this movie, as well as other Sean Baker features that he has done, is that the storyline is almost very conjointed in a way. Yes, we do have the story of Sydney and Alexandra trying to find out where Chester is, and not just Chester, but this real girl, Dana. But we also have the story about this cab driver who is Karen Kergillian, who has been in basically all of Sean Baker's movies from this first feature, Takeout, all the way through to Nora. And I liked his character very much in this. You know, he's a guy that has like traditional family, and his kink is being with trans women. All right. And I love the one sequence where he picks up a sex worker and has her drive, or he drives her to this spot, and he gets so excited because he wants to go down on her, but she takes the panties off and she doesn't have a dick, and he just like, what do you do with it? Would you tuck it back there? Where is it? All right, no, give my money back. That's it. Oh, so a lot of like elements of humor there, and there's even another great sequence where Alexandra is trying to get 40 bucks off a guy just to have her touch like his balls. Yes, I'm being vulgar for you people, so deal with it. You're fine. But that element where they get stopped by the cops, all the dialogue in this movie, it's scripted, but it's also not scripted as well. And I know that Sean Baker has said that he used both professionals and not professionals, and both these actors that I've mentioned, they are like non-professionals, and there's other actors who are professionals. And I just want to get your whole take about the acting style of this one.
You can instantly tell who are the actors and who are not. I remember when I was watching it, and then they finally find Chester. And, you know, Chester's obviously an actor. He's a professional actor. So is the cab driver, you know, things like that. You can tell instantly. But I still think that the two women who were playing the sex workers gave remarkable and wonderful performances. So he did a very good job there of finding inexperienced actors. They were truly trans people, and got them to give him a really fine performance out of them. You just can tell. You can tell when someone's an actor and when someone's not, usually in a movie.
And, you know, I mean, both these actors right there, Maya Taylor and Katana Kiki Rodriguez, they have such chemistry with each other. You feel like they have been like this duo for years. And it's great because you got, gosh, I'm blinking on no, it's Alexandra. Sorry, Alexandra and Cindy. Alexandra is basically doing like the quote unquote straight woman part, and then Cindy is the very like wild card in this one. Sort of like a Abbott and Costello sort of thing, where Cindy is the, you know, Costello, and Alexandra's the Abbott,
Well,
very
it's
kind of
almost
straight laced. Like I
like
can picture
Waiting for
them being in,
Godot, because at the end of Waiting for Godot, one says to the other, "We can't go on. We will go on. We can't go on. We must go on." That's how this movie sort of ends. We can't go on. We will go on. So, but you're right.
and it seems like these two characters have been friends for so long, and Alexandra is kind of tired of this eccentric, like this very high-strung ways that Sydney gets, but she's used to it. So when she tells her about that Chester's been cheating on her, she thinks that Alexander's going to be leaving Chester. And like, yes, you're going to be leaving this guy. He's a dog. And she sees it as like, no, I got to find this other bitch that's been breaking up our relationship, and I got to have a talk. And once Sydney gets on a path, she just does not stop until it is achieved. And she just goes to everyone, everywhere, and does not stop until she gets an answer. And it's that boldness that I do very much appreciate and find fun about her. At least watching it on the screen right there for sure.
Well, that was part of the movie where
but
since I lived there, it sort of added something to me because they're constantly going up and down Santa Monica, and they end up at this chicken place. That's 3 miles. So I'm watching this movie and I'm going, you're walking 3 miles. And even though you don't see them, I'm just exhausted because I've walked that far, for exercise. I've run that far for exercise. It's a long way to go. If you're just walking, if all you do is walk between there and then you walk back up to the donut shop, it's a long ways.
So, of all the walking that they've done, Howard, how many miles do you think they put on? Oh, but okay. So have you been to all the those spots that they shot the movie in, like all those different that grocery store that they go to with the arcade machine?
I don't remember if I've been there. I've been to the chicken place. I've eaten there, and then I've been to the donut place. I don't think I've ever been Hamburger Mary's. I've just passed by it. I used to eat at that in Chicago. It's just an okay restaurant. There's nothing that special about it. And then just a lot of the places are very familiar when they go by, when they walk by, and then they're on the buses. I also thought the bus scenes were really interesting because there's one, I don't know how they did it. They shot it guerrilla style. And it didn't look like they had hired the bus. And boy, they really lucked out in shooting that scene because it really did look guerrilla style. And I just wasn't sure how they managed to do that and get it so right.
I talked about the scene where Sydney has Diana and she's grabbing her by the hand and they both go onto a bus and they sit down and the camera follows them onto the bus. Yeah, it's very fluid the way it goes on there too. And you would think that he hired the bus driver to stop at a certain spot to have them come on to there, have them hit their mark, sit down on there, have the other extras not get in the way of the frame of both the actors in there. And yeah, it's a very effective.
He probably did hire the bus, but the way he shot it, it just didn't look like he did. It looked like they were waiting at a bus stop and they got on the next bus that came along.
Well, a lot of the same elements he used remind me a little bit of like Takeout because both are kind of shot in this like docudrama sort of way, and you're following these characters around. It almost feels like he found these people out on the street somewhere and says, "Hey, look, do you mind if I follow you around?" And I think I saw in some behind the scenes footage that I think it was either Titi Rodriguez or Maya Taylor that told him the story about a guy who was cheating on one of them. And when Chris and Sean heard that, they were like, all right, that's the hook because everyone has had their heart broken before, and we can use this to bring people into the storyline. And I think that is a really great hook. Girl has been jilted by her boyfriend because that's happened before in other stories. People have been jilted by a lover or jilted by a lover who's been cheating on them. And so she's going to go and confront not just the boyfriend, but the other girls that was cheating on him.
Even worse than that.
And
she went to jail for him. She took the
she
fall,
did, yeah.
And then she gets out, but then there's that one marvelous scene where he says, "But you're going to be my wife," and you almost fall in love with the guy at that moment. But other than that, he's he's not really. The men in her movies, the men in these movies often aren't the best. Let us say that.
I think Igor is the only one that's been actually halfway decent in these movies so far.
Well, in this one, it's
I think
the
so. Anyways,
the cab driver and the and Honora. It's this poor Russian guy who's been brought along to help out, and he just doesn't know what's going on. None of this makes sense to him, and he got the Oscar nomination. But generally speaking, yeah,
Yeah.
the men are not
Well,
the main character men are usually not that positive.
so I think Karen Gillian does a great job as the cab driver in this, because yeah, he does go to these girls regularly. He's like a regular customer, but he's friends with them too. I mean, he is friends with Alexandra, and she even gives him a Christmas gift as well. He's paying for a service that he enjoys doing. It just when it comes to like lying to his like family about it is where I take issues. Like if he just was like upfront and honest and be like, "Hey, I love you, honey, but I've got certain needs, and sometimes I just want to suck a dick, and that's what I need to do. All right, we can still be married or have like a conversation about it." He has to kind of like be secretive about his own desires to his wife, and when his wife finds out about it, and well, actually, no, it's his mother-in-law that finds out about it first. But when the wife sees that the mother-in-law finds out about it, she's like, "Well, look, he's my husband and he provides for us. So, I mean, it doesn't matter that he's cheating." And I take issues with the fact that he is cheating. Doesn't matter who with, but
Well,
if you're cheating on someone
the
that
wife,
is your wife,
I don't think is happy about it, but she tells her mother-in-law, "Look, he brought us here. He takes care of us. Mind your own business."
yeah, that's fair.
But I know what you
Oh,
mean.
but for the mother's perspective too, the mother's like, he's cheating on you, with the with the these other like prostitutes. I think that was the main issues right there, prostitutes, and yeah, a little bit I guess from the mother-in-law perspective, a little bit weird out for the whole trans issue right there. But I took it more as like she's being upset that her husband is
Mhm.
seeing other people and not her. And if it would have been established that these two people enjoy that sort of thing and they can respect each other's kinks and desires and be open about it, I think the mother-in-law would have been a little bit more okay with it if they would have been up front and said, "Hey, my husband likes to do these things. We talked about it. I'm fine with it. He still loves us. We're still going to be together as like a family unit." But something of that aspect. But it seems to me that he's secretly doing the stuff so that his family won't find out about it. And I was kind of hoping near the end that he would just be open about it. But hey, you know what? This is what I like. All right. This is my thing that I enjoy very much. It's my sexual desire. Honey, I still love you. Our marriage right there. And maybe because when that scene happens at the end of this movie where they all do get together, it's a great sequence because they're all there, they're all talking. It's both ad-libbed and scripted as well too. I just wanted something more of like them more together because at the end, the cab driver, you're not quite sure exactly what is going to happen with the family unit in that.
Well, I
Is
strangely had a
I don't know if you
sort
agree or
of
disagree.
different issue than that, and that is we
Okay.
launch him, and he really doesn't get any passengers. He's not making any money, and yet he spends a great deal of money
That's true, yeah.
on the sex worker. And I'm thinking, well, that's money you're taking away from your family.
Yes.
It might not be so bad if you were making a lot of money, but he wasn't doing too well on Christmas Eve
True.
as a taxi driver. And he wasn't even trying that hard to do well. He just wanted to see this one
No.
particular worker. But I thought that's a lot of money
Very much
he's
so.
spending when he's not earning. Because it's sort of like I think you have to buy the cab or rent the cab for $100 and you don't get any money till after the $100 is earned
Yeah.
back. That may be more now or maybe different.
That's true. I noticed that one of the members that you picked up there is
Yes.
Clu Gallagher,
Boy,
who has been
blast
in
from the
Return of the
past.
Living Dead, and I know from that movie Return of the Living Dead and the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but that's really it. I know he's probably been in more things, but I'm a horror guy, and that's the only thing I really recognize him from. Like, oh shoot, that's right, he's in Return of the Living Dead. Oh, and I guess he was in the Last Picture Show, but
Well,
I don't
it was
remember
a
what
small
role he
part.
played
I
in the
don't
Last
quite
Picture Show.
remember either, even though I've seen the Last Picture Show, I think 4 times. He was a B actor. So, he was just a supporting character, things
Okay.
like that. Oh, I know who he was in the Last Picture Show. He was the one that Ellen Burstyn was sleeping with, and then took what's
okay.
her name's virginity at the pool.
My gosh, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Sybil Shepherd. Okay, yeah, very cool. So he's one of the older members that our cab driver Riznik picks up, and yeah, you're right. He doesn't make much money. He comes home, and then he finds out that Alexandra has this show, because Alexandra in this, she has a show that she's playing at this bar. This, I would say,
No,
not a big
it's a bar
bar,
restaurant. It's
but like
Hamburger
a dive bar
Mary's.
sort of thing. And
So I don't think we have any.
it's
Didn't have
Hamburger Mary's,
any in
okay.
L.A. Well, we did because this took place in L.A. I'm in Houston now, and I don't think we have any in Houston, but I could be wrong. But we had them in Chicago.
All right. And that's her big thing that she wants to do. She's trying to get everyone of her friends and even her customers to be like, hey, show up for my show. And the only people that show up for her show is Cindy and Dinah. And I found it to be absolutely just sweet. And here's the thing, too. Like, throughout this whole movie, Sydney is very angry at Dinah because for stealing her man away. All right. And she's dragging her all around these places and kind of like being rude to her and beating on her. And Dinah's only got like one shoe, just being dragged around to all these places. When they get to that place and they're both in the bathroom, all 3 of them are in their bathroom, and they both share, like, is that weed they were smoking? I'm not quite sure what the drugs they were doing.
No,
I don't
think
know
it
if that was
more
like
crack or something, but I'm not absolutely sure.
It was, okay. Well, but there is a moment where both like Sydney and Dinah are in a bathroom, and Sydney helps Dinah with her makeup, like either remove some makeup or take some makeup off, that you feel like there's a friendship forming there in a way. Like, even though these women are both like enemies because they both are with like the same guy, there's a little bit of like a friendship that forms between them in these like really small moments. And that's what I kind of appreciate about Sean Baker's work, is because he'll have these moments between like these characters, like a little glance or look, or just her just doing the simple thing of just removing makeup or putting makeup on, that becomes a sort of like sweet thing. And you have that score that's used as well. I mean, the way that Sean Baker uses music, like either pop songs or score between scenes or inside scenes, is really, really good.
I agree.
Oh. So, what I want to do right now is I do have a small little clip of Sean Baker talking about his film style of Tangerine, and we will be right back.
Knowing that we wanted to tell a story about Santa Monica and Highland, I had never seen it in film and TV, and I don't know why. I just knew that by passing this location, there were many stories to be told here. Matt, hey, no.
I had $2. You know what I spent that on?
What?
The bus and a donut.
It's been 4 years and a lot has changed. We were shooting at a time where this area was becoming gentrified. Now it's pretty much gentrified altogether. The whole film really builds up to this climactic confrontation that takes place with our entire ensemble cast at what was once Donut Time, and now is actually owned by Danny Trejo, and he's made it into Trejo's
You've seen that.
Coffee and Donuts. We always knew that Donut Time had to be a part of it. It's iconic. It was the hub that many of these girls used at night for shelter. We didn't want to fake this at a donut shop on the other side of town. I actually told my producers, if we don't get Donut Time, I'm not interested in making the film.
I'm not doing this. I'm out of here, because you know, I told you. I already told you.
A lot has changed. There used to be 3 tables and then a side door over here. That's where we had Razmik's wife enter with the child. We shot over the course of 3 nights, but only 2 nights inside, and they started to close at midnight. So we could only really shoot 7 to midnight. So we had 5 hours one night, 5 hours the second night, and it was a running gun marathon.
What are you plotting?
It was always tight, and as you can tell, it's still tight. It's a very small space. You know, some people think we had a pimped out or a tricked out iPhone. That's not the case. We had an adapter that was literally the size of a matchbook that fit over the lens with a little stabilizer, and that was it. I was able to move very easily around and get different angles. There were 3 iPhones. You can see from the production of this movie, we're not making a ton of money. So I had to sell off one of the iPhones to pay rent, okay? But I held on to 2 of them, and one of them is being donated to the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, and it's an incredible honor to have been asked, and so we're very, very proud, very happy.
Yeah. One of the other things that Sean Baker has said that he always had someone with him who, whenever someone ended up in the background, they would rush to him and get them to sign a release notice and give them like $5 or $10
Sure.
to do that. Because they're constantly, all those people in the background, you know, they weren't hired or anything. They just ended up there.
Yeah, that's like a real sign of like guerrilla filmmaking to actually go out and
Yes.
shoot stuff. And I imagine too they're probably shooting stuff without permits and just really on the fly. And I think shooting with
could be.
I think shooting with an iPhone is kind of a good way to maybe get around permits because like, hey, I'm just shooting stuff for friends of mine. This is an iPhone, it's not a real film.
Right.
I mean, that's what I imagine it very well could be. I feel bad that I'm not going into like a beat by beat plot description of Tangerine because I watched this movie last night and it's really difficult to really kind of take notes because this is a vibe movie. I mean, you get the general idea that Sydney wants to find this girl to confront Chester, but they're doing all this like walking around, and then meanwhile Alexandra wants to do this show at this bar / restaurant, what she does. Then you got the cab driver who wants to find these other sex workers without his family finding out about it. And the whole movie, it all ends up at this one place Donut Time, which is like the big catalyst story of the movie. And I have to ask you this as like a screenwriter and someone that teaches screenwriting, having a story do this with all these different characters where it doesn't flow in a traditional way. There's not like a traditional villain in this movie or even like heroes per se. It's more about a friendship that comes together, but the real conflict of this movie doesn't really happen until the movie is almost over with. And it's when Sydney finds out that Alexandra has also been cheating on her boyfriend too. And that's where the friendship breaks up. And that's where you get some sort of like real conflict in this. And I have to ask you this as like a teacher screenwriting when you think about the story aspects of this.
Well, I think it's an excellent screenplay. I'm with her with the conflict of where is the other woman, but also where's Danny? She can't find him either. I mean, she'll go to the donut shop, but he's not there. So that's all she's doing is looking for these people. And I'm sort of, I don't know if I'd say edge of my seat. Well, it's outside in the hallway too, outside of the building, but no one's leaving, no one's going anywhere.
Is there an actual fire? Do we need to stop this and like?
Huh?
Do we need to stop this and pick it up another day? Because
I can't hear you over it.
oh,
I'm sorry.
do we need to like do a pause and come back to this, or what? What's
I
your?
think so. Yeah, I think you better pause it
All
until we figure out what's going on.
all right.
Sorry about this. I have
No,
no idea.
that's great. Yeah, I'll call back later. Okay, we'll continue this another time. All right. Yeah. Before the fire alarm just happened there, folks, there was a bit of issue going on. We're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cinema Recall. Had a little bit of issues there. I'm glad you're safe, Howard, and there was not an actual fire in your unit there. All right, that was scary. But yeah, we were talking about the screenplay, the screen structure of Tangerine, and we were getting your thoughts about that.
Well, I think it's a really good screenplay, especially it's character driven. I do take you note there are two different through lines that all merge at the very end. Um, and I suppose it might be a little disjointed, but I didn't really have a large problem with that because I found everything going on so interesting. It does end up a farce. I mean, Honora was a farce.
Mm-hmm.
This ends up as a farce where everybody. I mean, the thing in a farce is the last person you ever want to come through the door is always the one that comes through the door. So that's what happens at the very end. All the secrets come out. Everybody is gathering at the same place. And you feel so sorry for the donut people who have to listen to all of this
Oh,
going on.
that lady who is the manager of that donut shop, she's also the same manager of the other donut shop in Red Rocket.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
The lady that was the donut time manager in Tangerine,
Uh-huh.
she's also the manager of the donut shop in Red Rocket.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really interesting. I never would have made that connection.
And I
But
don't I right now I am blanking on her name per se, but yeah, she was in, and I can't pull this up. She's on here, and I'm just gonna find this really fast. Yeah, Tissot Shi Ching, and yes, I recognize her as being, and I really thought that was Samantha Kwan, Sean Baker's longtime partner who is appearing in the movie too, but that's not her. It's a different girl. So yes, I apologize immensely for thinking that all Asian people were the same. So that's on me. I apologize. But yeah, she plays a donut store manager in this movie and a donut store manager in Red Rocket. And I know
she's
that,
getting pigeonholed.
but she's also serves as like I think in the movies she's also she does do producing as well. Um, and I know she's the one that co-directed Takeout.
Okay.
So she has
That
worked
makes
with
a lot of
Sean
sense.
Baker on a lot of his films. Oh, I found that kind of a cool thing. I don't know. Oh. But yeah, the storyline good in this one too. I liked how you said it was a farce. I completely agree with you that it is a farce as well, and I think that adds a lot of like human elements to this movie too, because you take a lot of his stories are about situations and characters that a lot of general audiences wouldn't want to like watch or be aware of. But Sean Baker has this ability to bring people into this world, has them meet these characters that you end up loving and want to spend time with very well. And you realize it doesn't matter what, walk of life or who your race or orientation is, and like these are stories that are all at the core of them very humanistic stories, and I appreciate that very much about all his features.
I agree. I agree. Um, I think now Sean Baker is in a very perilous position.
Mm-hmm.
He gets better with each movie, but he sort of reached the high point with Honora,
Yeah.
and everybody's just going to be waiting to go after him on
Well,
his next films.
I heard that he's working on a documentary called Modern Horror about the life of Adrienne Werhan, who is a real life sex worker. I read her novel or her memoir, or I should say I listened to that, and that is a very good story. And I guess she shot like a short version of that documentary, and all I heard is that Sean Baker's companies has picked up that short and is going to eventually turn it into a longer documentary. And I think that got finished. It's been appearing at a few film festivals. I think the most recent one is in Canada, the Calgary Film Festival, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. That's the latest I heard.
Well, that would be a good way to go. Do a documentary next instead of,
Yeah.
a movie, a dramatic movie or whatever.
And I think that Sean Baker would be good at being a producer for upcoming films. I mean, being the fact that this film was made on an iPhone, and like you just heard, it's going to donate that camera to the Museum of, Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science. I think
And
it would be
museum, yeah, it's part of LACMA. There are now two in LA, one by Spielberg, one by Lucas.
okay. Oh, that's great. Get Sean Baker in there too, and I think him being able to influence other directors is a great thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe someone could make a movie that's all done with TikTok reels and make a narrative story with just that, because you never
Well,
know
on
exactly.
YouTube, I watch these shorts that people make, and I really get into a lot of them. And some of them, they do have sort of a continuing story. I mean, sometimes they're just all self-contained, but a couple of them have got a story that lasts 3 or 4, and I'm wondering if they could ever manage to, take those eventually and make a complete movie out of them.
100%. Was there a particular moment in Tangerine or something else you want to mention about Tangerine before we do finish up here?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You froze on me.
Oh, sorry. Was there any other scenes in Tangerine or anything else you want to say about the production of the movie before we close up?
Nothing comes to mind because I think I threw out all my little bits of trivia and knowledge of behind the scenes. Um, so I think I did cover everything. Um, yeah, wonderful film. Everybody has to see it. I've seen it a few times. Um,
Howard?
so yeah,
Howard? Let's just do this. I'll play the quick little TV spot of Tangerine, and then we'll end with giving our final scores and just thoughts about the movie. Okay?
sounds
Cindy's
good.
back on the block?
She's back and she's going hard. Whoa! What the? You must promise me that there's not going to be any drama.
I promise no drama.
You didn't have to Chris Brown the girl. What did you do to her?
The world can be a cruel place. There's cruel. God gave me a penis.
Out here, it is all about our hustle.
Tangerine, rated R.
This one has one shoe.
She's hillbilly. Come on, girl.
Now in theaters.
So yeah, I'll start with you, Howard. Just final rating and just quick final thoughts about Tangerine.
What is the scale?
Any 1 to 5. It could be 1 to 5.
I'll put this at a 3.5 to a 4. I think it's a really a marvelous film beyond the sort of gimmick of it being done on phones and the guerrilla aspect of the filming. I think it does rise above that. It's a very moving story. Every time I've seen it, I've really enjoyed it. I think Sean Baker. I'm curious to see how far he's going to go. He's doing right now almost better than many other the very very recent uh, filmmakers when it comes to consistency.
Yeah, very much so. I'm going to give this movie like a solid 4. And the cool thing is that even if you knew nothing about how this film was made, it has nothing to do with like the way the storyline like pulls you in. I think it's a gorgeously shot film, regardless of
Yes.
how it's used, because the cast and crew, they treat everything seriously. So I've known in his past other films, he does a lot of rehearsal with the actors in rooms and situations so that the actors know exactly what they're filming, what they are shooting. And I think, regardless of filters, I think it's just a very fun storyline. And I'm glad I saw it. I liked all the actors in this, and it's probably one of Sean Baker's shortest films. It's a little bit under 90 minutes. My favorite sequence in this, and I want to mention this briefly, comes at the very end when a bunch of like homophobic assholes throw piss on Cindy and her clothes are all ruined. Alexandra takes her into the closest laundromat and they're washing her clothes. And then Alexandra gives Sydney her wig and they both just sit there. And I think there was Sydney that reaches out and holds hands because we found out earlier that they have like their friendship has ended because Alexandra has cheated on her with Chester, who, by the way, Chester was also in Starlet. He was the
Right.
guy, the porn star producer with the girlfriends there. So he has a tight knit role in Sean Baker's film as well. So I found that to be cool. So yeah, the moment where they're just sitting there kind of holding hands, very sweet movie. I don't know if we mentioned this, but this film takes place all around Christmas. So this is a Christmas movie. It's a story all about, people's redemptions and friendships as well, bonding. And I found it to be a very positive, heartwarming film, and it's a great little action piece right there. So yeah, I'm giving it a solid 4 out of 5. Can't rate just a 5, but I still found it to be very good as well. So yeah, that's Tangerine. That's probably going to be the last of our Sean Baker movies. I'm sorry we did not get to Take Out or The Prince of Broadway. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the show, Howard.
Oh, it's great. I love being here.
So can you tell everyone
I'll
out
come
there?
back every week. Just ask me.
I will, come back. Just stop having fires happen at your place. That's all I ask. All right.
Yes, that's right. Gosh. Oh my God. The dog finally stopped barking.
Okay. Well, I didn't pick. I did not pick up the dog at all on the microphone, so it's all good. But tell people where we can find Pop Art Podcast.
On all the usual places, Apple, Spotify, things like that. So it's very easy to find. If you do go to Apple, it's best to look for my name as well, because I'm not the only pop art.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I will make sure I'll post links in our show notes so you can find them on there as well. Or if you're watching this on the YouTube, I'll just put the links in there as well. But you may just do a search for Pop Art or just find us on your other podcast apps host right there. I should let you all know too that Cinema Recall is kind of going on a little bit of a hiatus of sorts. We're still recording episodes, just not as frequently. I know that in December I want to do more of our Christmas horror episodes because I miss doing horror episodes in October. So we're going to be doing some of that. Don't forget to check out the other podcasts I host over on Rabbit Hole Podcast called The Rotten Truth, where me and Donnie Roberts look at films that have gotten a low score on Rotten Tomatoes. And while you're at it too, please check out our past episodes and our Sean Baker series. We have done Red Rocket, and we've done Nora, and we've done the Florida Project, Starlit, all featuring some amazing, wonderful podcasters. So check out those as well. If you're a Patreon member, patreon.com/cinemarecallpod, you get episodes earlier than everyone else. And that is it right now. And I thank you all for watching and listening. And take care. Bye, everybody.